Good evening, everybody, and welcome to ASMR with the Bear, and I'm the Bear. This is my first ASMR video. In fact, this is my first video of any kind. So welcome. It's nice to see you. I hope you enjoy it. I live in the picturesque Ozark Mountains of northwest Arkansas. Yeah, I know. Arkansas. It's not a place I ever thought I would live. After moving here from Los Angeles, it was definitely culture shock, but it's a nice place to call home. I am an architectural designer by profession. I am also an artist and an author. As an artist, I enjoy watching other artists create their work, and I guess the first time I experienced the tingles, I hate that word, but it's appropriate, was watching Bob Ross paint on TV. His voice, his mannerisms, the sounds he made, the sound of the palette knife on the canvas, or the palette knife on the canvas, or palette, all gave me a warm, fuzzy, tingling sensation. And it was while searching YouTube for Bob Ross videos that I came across a young artist named Jason Bowen. And he's British or Australian. Either way, he's got an accent. And between his accent and the sounds he makes when he paints and the conversation he has with his audience, again, gave me that warm, fuzzy, tingling sensation. It was also on YouTube where I discovered a young artist named Brad Robbo, who whispers while he paints, and I really like that. And all of his videos were tagged ASMR, and I had no idea what the hell that was, so I googled it, and I discovered that there's a whole world of ASMR artists out there doing some pretty amazing things. Some of my favorites are ASMR Gains, Dude That Whispers, Relaxing ASMR, ASMR Wiz, Massage ASMR, and Just a Whispering Guy. So I thought, what the heck? I'm gonna give it a whirl. Whether anyone watches this video or not, well, that remains to be seen. But, as an author, the first book I ever had published was a book of poetry. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to get rich writing poetry. And J.K. Rowling has nothing to worry about. But I enjoy writing poetry. I enjoy reading poetry. So I thought that's what I would do for you tonight. I would read you some of my poems. And if that doesn't put you to sleep, I guess nothing will. First up, does anyone mind if I smoke? If you do, too bad. It's my house, my crib, my playpen, my rules. Anyway, the book I want to read from is entitled Artistry of the Word, Life and Rhyme by B.V. Bear. And that's me. Book cover says, Artistry of the Word, Life and Rhyme is just that. It's more than prose, more than melodic thoughts and imagery. This work centers on life and life experiences, both yours and mine, both good and bad. The object of art of any variety is to provoke thought and emotion. Many of the controversial works in this collection will undoubtedly make you laugh or cry, make you mad or simply make you think. The poetry in this collection runs the gamut from fun and silly to sad and serious. And a disclaimer: the thoughts and opinions expressed are mine and mine alone. I will never apologize for my opinion, and my ability to express them is a constitutionally protected right. Regardless of what the left-wing politically correct police would have you believe, there is nothing in the Constitution that protects you from being offended. In other words, get over it. So what shall we find to entertain ourselves with tonight? How about we begin at the beginning? Chapter 1 is entitled Abuse and Fear. The definition of abuse: cruel or inhumane treatment. The definition of fear: an emotion experienced in anticipation of some specific pain or danger, usually accompanied by a desire to flee or fight. The first one is called Family Secret. What's done to me, I cannot tell. My mother wouldn't believe me if I told her of my hell. He comes to me each evening after everyone else is asleep. He takes my innocence over and over. Alone in my pillow I weep. The scars nobody sees will be with me for life. I'll never trust another man. No man will want me for his wife. I keep this family secret buried within my soul. It's burning deep inside me. Don't think I'll ever be whole. I have just one question to ask. Why do you have to do it to me? I am your only daughter. Tell me why, Daddy. The next one is entitled Alone in the Dark, and I'm quite sure all of us at one time or another, good grief, one time or another in our lives have been afraid of the dark. The dark is thick and murky. It blankets the world around. You just know out there in the darkness there is evil to be found. Each step along the darkened path, you try not to make a sound, hoping the monsters lurking out there won't know that you're around. Your pulse begins to race. Your heart begins to pound. You know it's just a matter of time before they'll take you to the ground. Alone in the dark, your mind begins to race. You're seeing things that aren't there. Wait, was that a face? You walk a little faster. Your breathing is shallow now. You've got to get to the edge of these woods some way, somehow. You're hearing footsteps coming from behind. Are they real or just in your mind? And I apologize for that clock. Had I thought about it in advance, I would have removed it from the room. Let's see, where shall we go from here? Okay, here's a chapter entitled Birth and Abortion. And this one is entitled What I Might Have Been. I'm the child you might have had if you just thought twice before you went to the doctor and terminated my life. If birth control had crossed your mind before abortion did, I'd not have had to start my life just to have it end. I'm the boy that might have been if you just thought twice. If you didn't want to have me, why'd you start my life? If responsible you were, there would then be no regrets. You'd have never gotten pregnant On that you can place a bet. I'm the man that might have been president someday, a congressman or a senator, but I never had a say. The next chapter I think we'll go to is entitled Celebrities. Okay. The next one, I will admit here and now before God and all the world that I am the world's biggest Cher fan. I worship the ground she walks on, and I would pay cash money to watch her sit on stage and read the phone book. So anyway, this is called Cher. The ultimate diva known as Cher, an exotic beauty with talent so rare. When on the stage she reigns supreme, I worship and adore her, she's the ultimate dream. The ultimate diva known as Cher, there is no one out there that can compare. Her legions of fans, they will attest, Cher is the one, the only, and the best. She is a star, the first magnitude, a heavenly voice so strong, so true. There's no one like her anywhere. She is, after all, the ultimate diva, known as Cher. And if you're watching this, Cher, I'll give you my address. The next one is called Jailhouse Tantrum, and it's just kind of my way of poking fun at celebrities who are rich and famous, and they have all the money in the world, and they have all the time in the world to go anywhere and do anything. And what do they choose to do? They choose to smoke, drink, take drugs, get high, get drunk, get arrested, get in trouble. Idiots, all of them. So anyway, here's Jailhouse Tantrum. Who do you think you are? Don't you know who I am? I'm a celebrity. This arrest is a sham. Throwing a jailhouse tantrum, nobody was impressed. Even if she held her breath, she's still just a pampered princess. I don't have to live by anyone else's rules. I'm a celebrity, you ignorant fools. Throwing a jailhouse tantrum, her lawyer she demands. He'll have me out of here in an hour. He's a very important man. How dare you take my picture? Where's my publicist? Take your hands off me, you pig, through snarled lips she hissed. Throwing a jailhouse tantrum, to her it's nothing new. She's used to throwing her weight around since her Hollywood debut. And the next one I wrote about a very special lady. Organized religion to me is a crock. Televangelists are all hypocrites and con men. But I did used to watch the Jim and Tammy Faye Baker show. Don't ask me why, but I enjoyed it. And I had the pleasure of meeting this very special lady several years ago out in Palm Desert, California. I've read both of her books, and I just think she's an absolute delight. And I wrote this poem shortly after she passed away. The poem is entitled Tammy Faye. The light that was once Tammy Faye was extinguished on the 20th of July. The Lord has called her home to heaven. He wanted her sitting at his side. She's now singing in the angel choir, her voice strong and true. Free of the pain of cancer, she's singing for me and you. Despite her ravaged body, her spirit never dimmed. She lived the faith she always preached, the devil she'd never let win. All our thoughts and prayers are with her family this day, as they mourn the loss of her presence. May her love be with them always. God bless you, Tammy Faye. In our heart your faith will stay. Thank you for your love and laughter. We will miss you in so many ways. The next one, I am a big fan of soap operas, especially the primetime soap operas. Dallas, Dynasty, Knots Landing, Falcon Crest, The Colbys, Melrose Place, Brothers and Sisters. But I have to say my favorite was always Dynasty. And years ago, when I lived in Riverside, California, there was a bar called the Menagerie. I have no clue if it's still there anymore or not, but we would have Dynasty watching parties on Wednesday night or whatever night it was Dynasty was on. And the bar created 2 special drinks just for that evening. One was called the Crystal. It was sweet and pure, and the other was called the Alexis, and it was just nasty and bitter. Anyway, so I wrote this poem. Leading ladies a little past their prime, starring together once again in a play that's just sublime. It was the 80s, they were fashion queens, famous for their catfights on the TV screen. One was sweet as honey, the other a ruthless bitch, but we couldn't get enough of the powerful and the rich. For years they ruled the ratings, like a dynasty you could say. We loved these leading ladies and the characters they portrayed. I think we'll move from celebrities to crime and terrorism. The first one I'd like to read for you is called God Bless the USA. No terrorist on earth, no calls for jihad can defeat the mighty eagle. We will destroy Islam. There are too many Muslims living on American soil. Deport them all in hopes a terrorist plot we will foil. You know they're all fanatics. Death is in their blood. They've been feuding for centuries, since at least the biblical flood. Terror, murder, and torture, condoned by some imam, all in the name of religion. Thankfully America has God. God bless the USA and the red, white, and blue. Long may she proudly wave for America and you. The next one is called The Condemned. It's basically about capital punishment, the death penalty, which I support wholeheartedly. So I now bring you The Condemned. I'm a mass murderer, or so I've been told. I have been convicted. I sit here alone. This 10 by 10 cell has too long been my home. My appeals are exhausted. There's nowhere to go. The clock on the wall ticks closer to 12. In just mere minutes, I'll be sent to hell. Guilty as charged, I do feel compelled to unburden my soul before I am felled. My victims were taken with nary a care, simply because they happened to be there. I took what I wanted from anyone, anywhere. They didn't deserve it. It wasn't fair. The warden has now arrived at my door to take me on my last walk down that long corridor. I've never taken life so seriously before, now that I'm standing outside that chamber door. The poison injected will course through my veins. My systems were shut down. I pray there's no pain. To my parents, I'm sorry, my life was lived in vain. To my victims' families, I apologize again. I'm a condemned man with no one to blame. I'm a condemned man filled with sorrow and shame. I've wasted my life, and now I must pay. And moving right along, This one is called The Stalker. I'm across the street in the shadows. I'm nowhere to be found. But I can see everything you do. I can hear every sound. When the time is right, we'll meet. Then for sure you'll know that I'm your stalker, baby, and I own you body and soul. I'm with you everywhere you go. I'm nobody that you know. I've been inside your house. I've even worn your clothes. The shadows are my cover. I blend in with the night. I'm your stalker, baby. Watching you is a delight. The sensuous feel of satin that hugs your ivory skin sets my soul on fire. My thoughts are all of sin. From just outside your window, you don't even know I'm there. I could just reach out and touch you like a phantom in thin air. I'm your stalker, baby. Possession is my game. To torment and to terrorize is my claim to fame. Oh, let's see. Time for another cigarette. Light them if you got them. The next selection for your evening's entertainment is called Torture. Terror suspects should be tortured. The CIA should do anything they please to get the information they want from godless fanatics such as these. To hell with the ACLU and crybaby liberals too. Al-Qaeda severs American heads, they would gleefully torture you. Physical, psychological, whatever they have to do. It's America's survival that's at stake. To worry about their rights is to make a grave mistake. To them we are all infidels, our way of life they despise. It's the us or them mentality that will ensure the U.S. survives. So torture, starve, or kill them. I don't give a damn. It's time we declare a holy war and burn their precious Koran. Secret prisons I condone, torture I support. Do whatever is necessary. Remember 9/11 is my retort. I'm sure that will rile up you liberals out there in YouTube land. Guess what? I don't care. Okay, the next chapter is called Death and Loss. And this first one I wrote several years after my mother passed, and I'd like to share it with you tonight. It's called Oh, that damn clock. Yeah. You know, it's funny, I'm so used to these clocks, I don't even notice them anymore, but since I'm doing a video, of course, the clock goes off 10 times. It'll stop in a minute. Alright, it's done. So, back to the poem I wrote about my mother. It's called Connie. My mother's name was Constance. Everyone called her Connie. I loved her so, she was my best friend. I just called her Mommy. She died one April morning, many years ago. Not a day goes by I don't think of her. Sometimes the tears still flow. She was taken without warning. I couldn't say goodbye. I touched her face at the memorial. My heart just wanted to die. In my dreams at night I'll hear her. She'll say no more tears. I can feel her arms around me. She takes away my fear. She was a good and decent woman. She raised her family with love, taught us the difference in right and wrong. She was an angel from above. When my time has come and when my race is run, she'll hold me close and say, "Welcome home, son." My mother's name was Connie. I write this as a tribute to the woman I called Mommy. God bless you, Mom. Okay, this next one is called Hitching a Ride. Anybody ever pick up hitchhikers anymore? I picked up one hitchhiker in my life, and this was many years ago. Many years ago. I was born and raised in Michigan, and I was getting on the interstate in Grand Rapids, heading south to Kalamazoo. Yes, there is really a place called Kalamazoo. And there was this guy on the exit ramp, and he had a sign that said, Western Michigan University. So I thought, what the hell, I'll pick him up and give him a lift. And at that point in time, there had been several mass murders across the state. And I picked him up, and he got in the car, and he no sooner got in the car, and he said, "Well, thanks for picking me up. You know, most people don't pick up hitchhikers anymore because the hitchhikers then turn around and kill the driver and steal their car." I thought, well, you could have gone all day without saying that. But okay, we kept going. And we're driving down the freeway, and he starts talking about, isn't it a shame what they did to Charlie? You know, I mean, they shouldn't deny him parole. And I thought, Charlie? And I said, Charlie who? And he said, Charlie Manson. Oh, dear God. And then he started talking about the mass murders that had happened across the state. And he started naming these people by name. I thought, oh, Lord, I have picked up a mass murderer. So I put my foot in the carburetor and was driving as fast as I could, hoping a policeman would pull me over, but of course they didn't. And we get to Kalamazoo, and he starts saying, well, go this way and go this way. And I thought, well, this isn't how you get to Western Michigan University. And then he said, turn down the street. And, well, the only thing down that street was the Oakland Mental Hospital. So we pull up, and he goes, oh, I need to help a friend escape from here. So if you want to just take me right up to the front door, that's fine. I said, no. I just pulled up at the gate, and I said, I'm really in a hurry. I'll have to just let you off here. And he got out of the car and thanked me for the ride and went on his merry way. And I thought, Lord, no, I'm never picking up another hitchhiker again. Anyway, I digress. This poem is called Hitching a Ride. A lonely stretch of highway, I've got so far to go. Thumb goes out with each passing car. I've got to get back home. Here I am, I'm hitching a ride, praying as every car goes by. Won't someone just stop for me? I've got to say goodbye. She's holding on to see me. That's what my family said. Oh dear God, please help me. I'm just so filled with dread. I've really got to see her, just 10 more miles to go. Let her hold on just long enough for me to say I love you so. An old man stops and asks me, where you heading, son? I'm heading home to see my mom before her race is run. I'm heading home to Nashville. I was down in New Orleans. The doctors say it won't be long. I've got to say my piece. I'm standing at her bedside. She's holding my hand tight. She smiles and says, I love you, son. I tell her everything will be all right. Just one last time before she closes her eyes, I kiss her gently on the cheek. I say I will always love you, Mom. Now go with God and rest in peace. The next one is called The Plains of Kansas. Tonight on the plains of Kansas, a cowboy rides alone on a dusty trail, hungry and tired. He's riding hard for home. With storm clouds on the horizon, he's fighting to beat the rain. As lightning streaks across the sky, he gallops across the windswept plains. Watching the rain from inside the barn, a cigarette in his hand, he knows his days are growing short. He'll miss his life upon this land. He'll be leaving soon to be with his beloved wife. It's been too long since he's seen her. She was the love of his life. The years since she has passed have taken their toll on him. Here at his home in Kansas, the lights of his life are growing dim. Tonight on the plains of Kansas, this cowboy rides alone. The cancer that has ravaged him will finally take him home. Okay, and I think our final selection for the evening is going to be one that is called Acid. Don't ask me where it came from. I don't know what I was smoking when I wrote it, but here it is. Purple streaks of lightning across the yellow sky, orange grass and blue trees, a clown that has no eyes. The ground beneath my feet, like a river, it does flow. Look over at that stop sign. I really think it glows. The trees, I hear them talking. They're calling out my name. The birds are in tuxedos and they're all dancing in the rain. I take my trips on acid. It's the only way to go. It's cheaper than an airplane. Where you'll go, nobody knows. The sun is psychedelic, every color of the rainbow. The clouds are racing by. It's really quite a show. The water in the fountain is shades of red and green, leaping and jumping skyward, taller than the trees. I take my trips on acid. It's so much fun, I know. It's easier than a road trip. Where you'll go, nobody knows. Like I said, I don't know where that one came from. But I say it's time to call it quits for my very first ASMR video. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. I look forward to any comments you may have, good, bad, or indifferent. Thank you for watching. Take care and have a great evening.